Answering your questions, part 2. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Sheila, and I thank you so much for being here today. I thank all of you for being here. Well, about maybe 2 weeks ago, I put a video out asking if you had any questions you wanted to ask me, or if you had any requests that you wanted to make of me. And many of you responded, for which I'm very grateful. So just Tuesday, a couple days ago, I filmed part 1 of answering your questions. And today we're going to tackle part 2. So let's get started. Karen had 4 questions, and I'll answer those now. She said, have you ever traveled out of the country? The answer is no. How many states have you been to? Well, I've been to, I guess, well, not a lot of states, but I've been to some states that I didn't live in. I've been to Maggie Valley, North Carolina, Memphis, Tennessee, Macon, Georgia, Jekyll Island, Georgia. Traveled through, several states while we were making trips from here to there, but that's just traveling through. As far as states that I've lived in, I lived in West Virginia, where I was born, Pennsylvania, North Carolina twice. Once I lived in New Bern, North Carolina, and another time I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've lived in Florida, 2 different places, Orlando and Merritt Island. I've lived in Virginia, once in Alexandria, and then many years in Richmond, Virginia, and of course now I live in South Carolina. Her third question was, is there any state or country you would like to visit? Karen's third question is there any state or country that you would like to visit? Not really. I'm not much of a traveler, and I'm content where I am. And as far as going to another country, no, I've never cared to. I wouldn't have minded going to Ireland. My dad, that was his dream, to make it to Ireland, but he never made it. And I kind of wanted to, just because it meant so much to him. But I don't want to bad enough to fly. I don't fly. And Karen's fourth question is, what is your favorite place that you have visited and why? Well, I'm going to have to say South Carolina. I had never been to South Carolina. I've been through South Carolina, traveling up and down Interstate 95, going from Virginia to Florida or North Carolina or whatever. But I have never been to South Carolina until we moved here. And I love it here. I'm perfectly content here. And I have to say, this is the favorite for me. Now, of course, I do live here, so that's part of the reason. I'm right here at Hilton Head, 12 miles off Hilton Head Island. An hour and a half from Charleston. We have the mountains to the west of us. So it's just a beautiful state, and there's so much to do. And I'd just be happy exploring the state of South Carolina. Next is a subscriber, Celtic Dollface, and she has 5 questions. Have you ever visited the UK, and if so, what are your thoughts on it? No, I've never been to the UK. My son has, but not me. Number 2 is, what is your ideal vacation, and do you go on vacation often? No, we don't go on vacation often. In fact, we have rarely gone on a vacation. Years ago when the kids were young, we took vacations like once a year in the summer for a week. But other than that, Dave and I just don't vacation. And the other part of your question, what is my ideal type of vacation? I'm living it. I truly am. Just peaceful, beautiful, warm weather, sunny skies, blue skies, activities. If I choose to do them, be surrounded by them. I have the ocean just 12 miles from me. So I feel I'm living on a permanent vacation. Her third question was, how many children and grandchildren do you have, and do they visit often? I have 3 children, age 52, 50, and 47, I believe. I don't know if my youngest is 47 or 48. And I have 5 grandchildren, ranging from ages 14 to 24. And yes, they do visit often. My middle child, he comes down at least 3 times a year, and he has 2 of my grandchildren. And my grandchildren love to come here. In fact, Tristan, my oldest grandson, actually lives here in South Carolina, right where we are. He just doesn't live in this house. He lives in a little casita right across the courtyard. So yes, we see our family very often. Her fourth question is, does Dave have any children of his own? No, he does not. Dave was never married before and never had children. So he took on the role of parenting and fathering and being the dad to my 3 children, for which I am so grateful for. My youngest son, Nathan, but I call him our son because Dave raised all 3 of the kids and gave them a good life and helped them through college and everything. Our youngest son, Nathan, wanted to be adopted from the time he was 7 years old. He wanted Dave to adopt him, and I wouldn't allow it because I didn't feel he was old enough to understand what that meant. So I told him he had to wait till he got older, and finally at age 17 I allowed it, and he still wanted to. So he has Dave's last name. And her 5th question is, do you have any plans to show us more of your beautiful home? Thank you so much. That's such a kind thing to say. And yes, I do. I will do a home tour, and I'll try to do that within the next month. It's not a big fancy home, but it's our home, and it's comfortable and it's cozy, and I don't mind doing a home tour at all. Now, in the last video where I answered questions in part 1, I answered some from Anne. She has a channel, Minimalism by Anne, and she had, maybe 10 questions, and I answered probably 5 or 6 of them. So let me answer the rest of her questions. Do you love to read, and if so, what are your favorite books? No, Anne, I don't love to read. I did years and years ago when I was younger, maybe in my 20s or early 30s. I just can't sit still long enough to read. Of course, I don't mind reading the Bible or a devotional, but other than that, no. And in fact, I love to listen to sermons online, or go to YouTube and type in, say, the Book of John, and have somebody read it to me. I love to be read to, but I don't like to read. She also asked, do I prefer hot dogs or hamburgers? Neither one. I don't like either one. I don't like meat. My preference would be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Her next question is, what is your secret for making your home look so cozy? Wow, that is so kind. And thank you very much. I don't really have a secret. I want to surround myself with things that make me feel good. It may not be anybody else's taste. I love the coastal, beachy look. I really do. I like modern things. I like kind of warm, earthy kind of colors, but yet I also like beachy colors. I like things light and bright. I don't like curtains on the windows or anything because it just seems to close things in. I like my house filled with lots of love, lots of laughter. I want it to be welcoming and comfortable, that you feel you can come in, kick your shoes off, put your feet up on the couch, lay on the couch, do whatever you want to do. That's how I want my house to feel to others. So I thank you for saying that it looks cozy. It's cozy to me, Anne. It truly is. Anne's next question is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Well, Anne, I have been both. I am definitely an extrovert now, but for many years I was definitely an introvert. And I'd say I was that way until I was in my early 50s. And then it's just like I busted loose. Out came this person that I think was always alive inside of me, trapped inside of me, imprisoned inside of me, that I didn't even know existed. And when I found that freedom and that person came busting out, it was hard to even recognize myself. I became an extrovert. And I'm very comfortable in being an extrovert. I sure wouldn't have been years ago, but I am now. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know who I am. I'm free to be me, and I just love it. And I'm so grateful that that came to me in life. Even if it came late in life, it still came to me. And Anne's last question is, what are your strengths, your gifts, and your talents? Well, it's kind of hard to talk about yourself without sounding like you think you're all that, because I certainly do not. As far as a talent, I would have to say dancing. I can't sing. I can't play a musical instrument. I'm no good at gardening at all, but I can dance. I can pick up a dance in a New York minute. I can dance to the beat. I know exactly how to move to each song, and I love to dance. So that's the only talent that I feel I was born with. As far as gifts, I would say, if I had to name one, I would say I am an encourager. I love to encourage people, and I love to lift people up. That means a lot to me, and I feel like it's within me. I don't have to try to do it or struggle to do it. It just kind of flows out, and I'm very grateful to have received that gift. As far as strengths go, I'm a very, very loyal person, loyal to a fault at times. I'm a very good friend. When you're a friend for life. It's like you're part of my family. You get into my heart, and you're not going to leave it. You're in here for good. I'm also a very positive person. I see the best in people, and I always see things in a positive light. And I guess I would say I'm a very compassionate person. If you hurt, I hurt. If you're in pain, I feel your pain. My heart goes out to someone who is hurting, and it hurts me too. so I have a great deal of compassion. And I have one more set of questions to answer, and those are from Sunny Day. I love that name, Sunny Day. I also have all 4 or 5 questions about religion, Christianity, my faith, things like that. I will have to make that part 3. That will have to be a video by itself because it involves too much and it would add too much time onto this video. So I will do a part 3 probably one day next week, and I will answer all the questions about that you all asked. And also Michelle from the channel Michelle Shelley Style, it used to be Older Women Rock. She wanted to know if Dave still rides his Harley. Oh yes, he does. And he has another one. I think it's called a Road King. Anyhow, I'll do a separate video on that, Michelle, where I can show you his Harley and him on it and all his Harley gear. He's so into it. He truly is. And in addition to that, I had some requests to do specific videos, like a house tour, take us on a day in your life. Tracy would enjoy hearing stories on my childhood and how things have changed. Natalie would love to see a daily exercise video. Jean would like to see a yoga or stretching video. Paulette was wondering if I could do a day in my life. Karen wants to know if I could make a video on anything special I would like to do in the fall, like decorating, festivals, craft shows. And a Sunny Day also wants to know if I would mind sharing my daily routine. And I think she also requested a house tour. So I will do those requests also in the upcoming videos. So let me answer Sunny Day's questions and then we'll wrap this up. Her first question says, you mentioned you go to bed at 6. How does this work for your husband and does he mind? Well, it works out very well for us because I have a different schedule than Dave, meaning I get up earlier than he does. I'm usually up by 1 a.m. and he gets up between 5:15 and 5:45. Dave and I both used to go to bed at 6 o'clock. We would eat dinner at 4 and be in bed by 6. We would usually start off watching a Hallmark movie. Of course, I would fall asleep, but Dave could finish the movie. He also loves to read. So we would go to bed at 6. He would read to me. I love it when somebody reads out loud to me. He would read to me, and of course, I fall asleep, and he continues to read. So that was just our life. We went to bed early, and we ate dinner early. My grandson Tristan, who is 24, came to live here about 2 years ago. And he's our oldest grandson, and he works with Dave. So they paint houses together. They might not get home from work till 5 or 5:30. So they don't eat dinner till 6:30, sometimes 7. So Dave started staying up later because he got on a different schedule. Him and Tristan have their dinner. Then they'll hang out and sit around and talk or watch a movie or something that they want to watch. Sometimes they go out to dinner to try a new restaurant. They both love to eat and love to try new foods. I do not. They'll go to, like a concert or a comedy show. They do different things. So that's why Dave no longer comes to bed at 6 o'clock, because his schedule is so different. But he is loving spending this time with our grandson, and they really enjoy each other's company. So it just works out good for our family. Her second question is, you mentioned you like to walk early in the morning. What is your daily routine? And of course, I'll show this when I do a what's in my day type video. But my daily routine is I get up around 1. I just wake up. I mean, after all, if you go to bed at 6 o'clock, you're ready to get up by 1. And I'm very excited to get up. When I wake up, I'm like, ooh, good, the day's starting. What can I do? And I'll do all kind of things. I sit outside on my patio. As soon as I get up, I get a cup of coffee. I go outside. I have quiet time. I have prayer time. Then I'll check my emails or check my videos, things like that. I'll put laundry in. I'll organize some drawers or something. I am just full of energy when I wake up. Then I head out the door at 4:30 to walk. I'm back by 6 or 6:15. I get my shower. I get dressed. And then I just start my day, which can involve different things, usually cleaning and a lot of time outside. Her third question was, do you have a set time for Bible reading and prayer? Well, as I said, Sonny, I do. When I get up in the morning, I actually start when I'm still in bed in the morning. I don't want to put my feet on the floor without thanking God for waking me up and telling him how grateful I am. Also, when I take my morning walk, there's nobody out at 4:30 in the morning. That is my prayer closet. When I'm outside by myself in the wee hours of the morning, it's quiet. Nobody's there but me and God and some deers and alligators and things like that. But that is my time to pray, or I can put on like a YouTube video, like I type in the book of Mark and it will read me the book of Mark, or I'll listen to a sermon by Charles Stanley or some of my favorite preachers. She asked a couple questions about church and faith, and again, I'll answer that in part 3. And then she went on to say, what is your favorite thing to do? Well, dance. Dance is my favorite thing to do. I do dance around the house during the day. I just love to dance. And I love to be outside. Those are my 2 favorite things to do. She asked, have I ever done a home tour? And I've already answered that, no, but I will do one. And her last question is, what would a perfect day look like for you? Well, every day is a perfect day to me. Every day, like I said, I wake up happy and energetic and excited to see what the day is going to bring. I enjoy what I do. I love sitting outside. I love watching the sun come up, looking at the blue skies. I like the birds. I like to pick up pine cones. I like to take my walk. It's simple. I don't require much. I like a simple life, and thankfully I have one. So that would be my perfect day, is how I live my life each and every day. Well, I hope this video isn't too long, but that takes care of all the questions except the ones about church, religion, Christianity, faith, and that will be coming up in part 3 very soon. Again, I thank each and every one of you for your questions. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed doing this video. Well, now let me see if I can leave you an inside beauty tip that's short, because I'm afraid my video's long. My inside beauty tip today comes from James 1:17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. I thought that was an appropriate verse to read because I struggled with answering Anne's question, what are my gifts? What are my strengths? Because I didn't want to sound like I was, I don't know, talking myself up or just too full of myself. I would never want to come across that way. And then as I was thinking about it after I answered it, it hit me. Any gifts or talents or strengths that any of us have, they come from God. They're not from us. And we should be grateful and thankful and be willing to share them. It's not about tooting your own horn. It's about sharing your gifts and acknowledging that you only have them because they came from above. That's the part I was missing when I was trying to answer that question. So I'm very thankful that God brought that to my attention, and I want to give him all the glory for any gift or talent or strength that I have. And you all are full of gifts and talents and strengths as well. Don't ever be afraid to share them or talk about them because you know where they came from. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it and look for the final part 3 of answering your questions within the next week or so. Well, until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya!